how to get the axis of symmetry and the vertex, and I'm just going to put these equations here. You know, the axis of symmetry is a vertical line. The equation is minus b over 2a, and the vertex had hk as coordinate, with h is equal to minus b over 2a and k is equal to 4ac minus b squared over 4a. Of course, this is from f of x, that was ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, today we are going to do only practice. We are going to give some different type of equations showing up and see how we can get these data. Okay, let's take the first one. F of x is equal to x squared minus 10x plus 25. You can say a is equal to 1 here, 1x squared, b is equal to minus 10, and c is equal to 25. You can go ahead and apply these functions here, these formulas, but I'm going to start with modifying this, putting it in the form of x minus 10x, x squared minus 10x plus 25. Okay, and what I can say, that is x minus 10 divided by 2 is 5 squared minus 5 squared. We get that part if we do this operation, then plus 25, correct? So that gives us x minus 5 squared. In this situation, we can say just plus 0 if we want, you know, it's not necessary, but all we can say here is h is equal to 5 and k is equal to 0. Okay, and the vertex v is 5, 0, and the axis of symmetry is x is equal to 5. Okay, thank you. Now let's get f of t, another function here. They give us f of t is equal to minus 16t squared plus 128t. They want the vertex and the axis of symmetry. Note that c is equal to 0 here. Okay, a is equal to negative 16 and b is equal to 128. What I'm going to do, okay, so we can rewrite this one, put in minus 16 factor, so minus 16 factor in t squared minus 128 over 16, actually t, correct? If we introduce minus 15t, we get the initial equation. So what we can say is minus 16 t squared minus 128 divided by 16 is 8t. Okay, so we can rewrite, we can say it's equal to minus 16 factor in t minus 8 divided by 2 is 4 squared, okay, minus 4 squared. Let me open this one here, much better. Okay, so that becomes minus 16 factor in t minus 4 squared minus so it's a plus 16 times 16. Okay, so we get is equal to minus 16 factor in t minus 4 squared plus 256. So we get h is equal to 4, k is equal to 256. That means the vertex is at 4 and 256, and we get axis of symmetry simply t is equal to 4. So we have f of t, when it becomes 256, t is equal to 4, and the axis of symmetry is when t is equal to 4. Okay, that is a vertical line. Now let's take another one, a trivia actually, simpler one here. Let's say f of x is equal to negative 2x squared plus 4. You can read straight here when you get something like this. Notice already on the format we are looking for. All we need to see is that we can rewrite this one as x minus 0 squared plus 4. So that means h is equal to 0 and k is equal to 4. This is the vertex, and the axis of symmetry is x is equal to 0 because h is equal to 0. This one was very simple. Okay, now let's get another variation. When they say f of x is equal to minus x squared minus 4x plus 5. Okay, this one is also simple. Let's put a is negative 1 in factor here. It's also equal to minus x squared plus 4x and then plus 5, correct? And it can work better. It's minus x plus, let me put here so you don't get confused, 4 divided by 2 here is 2 squared minus 2 squared. Let's close this and then plus 5, correct? Now we can say it's minus x plus 2 squared, minus jumps in here, becomes plus 4 plus 5. Okay, we get is equal to minus x plus 2 squared plus 9. Okay, so that means h is equal to negative 2 minus minus 2 here, and k is equal to 9. So the vertex is negative 2 and 9, and then the axis of symmetry is x is equal to negative 2. I hope you are getting this. Okay, thank you. Let's continue with a couple of examples and then stop this. We are just going for variation of what we have seen. I'm going to, for instance, give you f of x is equal to 5x squared minus 2x plus 3. The best way to see if you are understanding is to pause the video and try to put this one in the form a factoring x minus h squared plus k. Okay, so I'm going to dive into it. I'm going to rewrite factoring a x squared minus 2 over 5x plus 3. Okay, so what I can say is 5 factoring x minus this one divided by 2 becomes 2 tenths, right? Squared minus 2 tenths squared, close that, and then plus 3, correct? So that becomes 5 factoring x minus 2 tenths squared. Now the 5 comes in here, minus 4 times 5 over 10 squared, 100 plus 3, correct? So we can rewrite is 5 factoring x minus 2 tenths squared plus 300 minus 20, that means 280, correct? 100 plus 280. over 100. We can simplify by 2, 14 over 5, correct? So finally it's equal to 5 factoring x minus 2 tenths squared plus 14 over 5. We can just say that the vertex is at 2 tenths for x and 14 over 5 for y, correct? And axis of symmetry equation is 2 tenths. Okay, I hope this is what you found when you tried. Thank you. Now let's take our last example here. I think now you are able to work with any quadratic function and put it in that form. Let's try another one here. Let's say that f of x is equal to 4x squared minus 5x plus 10. Okay, now we are used to it. I know you're good on this. Pause it and try to solve it. So I put 4 in factor, 5 over 4, of course, x, and always isolate the c, and then we can say 4 double brackets here, x minus, divide this by 2, 5/8 squared minus 5/8 squared, and then close that one. The 4 factors all that, but does not count with the 10. Okay, so we do 4 factoring x minus 5/8 squared. Now the 4 comes here because we are opening it up. 4 times 5 squared over 8 squared, so minus 4 times 25 over 64 plus 10. Okay, so that becomes 4 factoring x minus 5 over 8 squared, 16 here. Okay, but 16 times 10 is 160, so plus 160 minus 25 over 16. Okay, otherwise we can rewrite is equal to 4 factoring x minus 5 over 8 squared plus 135 over 16. We can leave it in this format, and we say that we have h is equal to 5 over 8, k is equal to 135 over 16, and then the vertex is 5/8 and 135 over 16, and then the axis of symmetry x is equal to 5 over 8. Okay, in the future videos we are going to use this one and start with the notions of roots and factoring, which is very important. Both in are in the complex numbers, and when we finish that we will try to use what we learned here to graph these types of functions, the quadratic equation, see when it opens up or when it is opening down, and when it is on the right side of the axis, or left side, above the x-axis, below the x-axis, and all that. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.